I want to thank the CSL music team for the great music. And this is our first week in a 5-week series on Happier Now, a book by Natalie Kogan. Each week is independent, so make as many as you can. And we'll be taking off for Father's Day and for 4th of July, so this series will take us into mid-July. So today, we're talking about the journey to happier, living a life that's really filled with happiness. And we're going to spend 2 weeks on this part of the book. Today, we're focusing on the happiness trap, I'll be happy when, and on being grateful for the ordinary things as a way to be happier in our daily lives. Imagine what would happen if you actually stopped putting your happiness in the future and made a commitment to happier now. First, our question for the week. What is the one choice that you can make today to rejoice in ordinary things and allow everyday good fortune to inspire you so as to be happier now? One more time. What is the one choice that you can make today to rejoice in ordinary things and allow everyday good fortune to inspire you so as to be happier now? Since it's our first week in this series, I thought I'd give you an overview, and I also want to encourage you to download the gratitude journal that I created for you to use throughout this series, because I think that journal will help you recognize how to be happier now. The first 2 weeks are about the journey to happier, and the final 3 weeks are about daily anchors that you can use to increase your happiness level so that you can be happy now. Again, we'll be taking a break for Father's Day and for 4th of July, just so you can mark your calendars. Let's start our journey with this quote from the book. I'll be happy when is the happiness trap that many of us have fallen into. The conclusion I came to, the idea that I could achieve my way into perfect happiness, is shared by many of us. Think about that for a moment. How often have you been fooled by the I'll be happy when I have the right job? I'll be happy when I don't have to worry about money. I'll be happy when my spouse, my friends, my children treat me with acceptance and respect. I'll be happy when my health is better. You get the idea. But it's certainly possible that achieving some of these things, better health, a better job, less worries about money, can make us happy for a short period of time. But realize that it is fleeting. There are far too many complexities and circumstances in our lives for us to really believe that something or some circumstance can actually bring us happiness. Circumstances change, and then the money's not enough anymore, or the job is no longer any fun, or it's not the ideal place to work, or our child or our spouse or our friends are not who we want them to be, and we recognize, they're not going to change. Happiness is not a reward earned for achieving something. Let me repeat that. Happiness is not a reward earned for achieving something. It's an ingredient that we already have right inside of us. We just need to learn how to tap into it. Again, happiness is an ingredient that is right within us. And what we need to aspire to do is to tap into it. Here are a few statistics that the founder of Zappos, Tony Hish, provided in his book on delivering happiness. Happier people are healthier and catch fewer colds and flus. Happier people live longer. Happier people experience less stress and anxiety. Happier people have 50% lower risk of having a heart attack or a stroke. Happier people have stronger relationships. Happier people are more productive, more creative, and better at customer service. Happier people are more liked by their colleagues and more successful at work. I rather doubt that many of those actually surprised you. Think about it. Don't you enjoy being around happy people? I know that I'd rather be around a happy person than somebody that's sad or disgruntled all the time. Hogan wrote this: I kept blowing happiness bubbles, but instead of becoming this one big bubble of lasting contentment, they kept popping. So if you're playing that game of I'll be happy when, stop it. Really, stop playing that game. How do you do that? Start enjoying ordinary things. Start rejoicing in the ordinary things that show up in your life. And how do we start rejoicing in ordinary things? I love this section of the book where Kogan actually labels 5-minute joy breaks. Needless to say, I love that title. The breaks can be as simple as stepping outside for 5 minutes for some fresh air. I mean, look around. If you step outside and enjoy the nature and the beauty, it has to lift your spirits even a little bit. Take time for some coffee or tea. Read a magazine while you're having that coffee or tea, or visit with a friend. Remember a moment of joy in your life and actually take 5 minutes to savor the memory. Truly remember the feeling that you had and some of the events that surrounded that joy moment. The point is to honor these moments with your full attention, taking time to truly enjoy them. We're not going to take 5 minutes right now, but I'm going to invite you to just think of a moment in the past where you truly felt happy and joyful. I venture to say that just remembering that moment lifted your spirits just a little bit. That's what we mean by rejoicing in the ordinary things, something that happens in your life that brings you joy and happiness. Kogan tells us the research shows a grateful mindset has been shown to have stronger links to mental health and life satisfaction than most other personality traits, including optimism and hope. A grateful mindset. What does it mean to have a grateful mindset? They took a group of participants who wrote down every day things for which they were grateful. And after a mere 10 weeks, they reported greater satisfaction in their life. And you know I love statistics. Did you know that gratitude activates the brainstem region that produces dopamine? And dopamine helps us feel good when it's released. Gratitude also stimulates the hypothalamus, which regulates stress. Gratitude stimulates the ventral tegmental area, which is a part of the reward circuitry that produces the sensation of pleasure. And gratitude increases the production of serotonin, which is responsible for regulating our moods. Wow, that is great research. So it's no wonder that grateful people experience an increase in positive emotions and a reduction in stress. Not to mention that the research shows that they have lower blood pressure, less heart disease, better weight control, and healthier blood sugar levels. So why aren't we all more grateful? Good question. Why aren't we all keeping a gratitude journal? Another good question. It's important to allow those everyday moments in our lives to inspire us. Pema Chodron wrote this about allowing those everyday moments to inspire us. Rejoicing in ordinary things is not sentimental or trite. It actually takes guts. Each time we drop our complaints and allow everyday good fortune to inspire us, we enter the warrior's world. In the reading today, we heard about Kogan's skeptical gratitude experiment. Let me give you a few of the results of that experiment that she listed in her book. The enthusiasm with which her daughter greeted her at the top of the stairs when she came home from work. The way the sun hit a bunch of tulips sitting on their living room table. Surprisingly, no traffic on the commute to work. Hey, I can relate to that one. Ever had a day where you were going somewhere and the traffic was really light? It's that ordinary moment that we can find happiness in. A visit from her dad who stopped by with her favorite snack from Russia. A chilly walk that relieved her headache more than she expected. Seeing 6 feet in funny socks on the coffee table as her husband, daughter, and she settled in for a weekly movie night after an exhausting week. The security guard answering a routine, "How are you?" with an enthusiastic, "Great." None of those moments would be considered extraordinary, and yet they inspired a sense of gratitude. They inspired within her something that really made her feel a little bit happier in the moment. I would have loved to have seen those 6 feet on the coffee table. I love crazy socks. What might be an ordinary moment that inspires you? Think about it for a minute. Something that's happened in the last week that you just recognized, wow, that was kind of nice. That was a nice event that happened to me. And how might you be able to allow those moments to turn you from things that you could complain about into being inspired about being happier now? Let's face it, we all have things in our life that we can complain about. We all do. We have events that happen every day, little events, big events. We can complain about them, or we can choose to be inspired by the ordinary moments and to take on just a little bit more happy in our lives. After hearing the benefits of happiness and gratitude, might you be rethinking that part of you that wants to complain? Might you be rethinking that part of you that wants to notice and be grateful for the things that happen in your life? It's all really about balance, isn't it? About having a balance between accepting our feelings and knowing who we are and allowing ourselves to feel sad if we need to feel sad about something, and then moving through it. And let's face it, there is a difference between feeling sad and complaining, because complaining is all about repeating the story over and over again to our friends or to anybody that'll listen. And all that does is decrease our happiness. It decreases our level of gratitude about life. And this is all about life's journey to happier now. So every night in your journal, I'm hoping that what you'll do is write down some little things or some big things that happen to you during the day for which you're grateful. And if you can't think of any, here's a few examples. Be grateful that you have electricity. When I was out of electricity for a week, I guarantee you I was really grateful when it came back on. Be grateful that you have running water or indoor plumbing. There's so many things that we have in our lives every day that so many people in the world don't have. We in America have so many things we can be grateful for. I don't think it's going to be difficult for you to find 2 or 3 things every day to be grateful for. And remember that as you're thinking about that and being grateful, you're producing serotonin and dopamine and helping yourself be happier now. Notice how you feel as you write down each of these events. It's important to savor that moment of gratitude. People who are happy know how to rejoice in ordinary things. That's why I'm truly encouraging you to download your Happier Now gratitude journey. Just go out to our website, there's a link there, and use it throughout this series. I'm going to check in with you next week to see if you're feeling happier. So in summary, release that "I'll be happy when" trap. Let go of the need to tie your happiness to achievements. Happiness is not a reward for achieving something. And rejoice in the ordinary moments. Take those 5-minute joy breaks regularly. Commit to yourself to taking 1 or 2 a day. They're going to lift your level of gratitude and of happiness. Take a long-term view and stop and smell the roses along the way. That's an ordinary moment. Allow everyday good fortune to inspire you. Drop your complaints. Allow people to hear and to see you from the point of view of the good things that are happening in your life. Remember that people like to be around happier people. So here's the affirmation for the week. How is it that I so easily and willingly make the choice today to rejoice in ordinary moments and to allow everyday good fortune to inspire me so as to be happier now? And your challenge for the week is this: download your gratitude journal and start allowing your everyday good fortune moments to inspire you. Start writing in your journal every day. Accept that truly being in gratitude about your life is going to bring about a happier life. So let's pray. I am just sitting here in the gratitude of knowing all that the divine is in my life, that love, that joy, that peace, that ease, that grace, and knowing that I am one with that God. I am one with that divine being, as is every person on the planet. So what I know to be the truth is that this journey that we're on to a happier life is not only increasing our own happiness, but it is influencing the world in a positive way. I am so grateful for everyone watching. I'm grateful for this community. I'm grateful that I know that the God without is the God within each of us, and that God inspires us through the ordinary moments in our lives. And it's from all that gratitude that I release these words into the law of mind, spirit, and action, because I know the truth that where we are, God is. And God has already called all of this good, already said yes to it. So I can just say amen, and we can affirm it together. And so it is.